Welcome to the Hornets Hivecast, presented by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, the official eye, ear, nose, and throat care provider of the Charlotte Hornets. Here's your host, Sam Farber.
Joining us in studio today here on the Hornets Hivecast, Hornets center Nick Richards. Nick, welcome back.
Good to be back. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Good to have you here. Season 4 for you in the NBA. I think you're officially a veteran now. Does it feel like you're one?
Not yet. I heard that when you get to year 7 or 8, that's when you're called a vet. So I still got a ways to go.
Okay, that's a fair number. To me, I think a veteran. I think of a veteran as anyone who's off of their rookie contract, and there's a lot that comes with that. You've obviously now established yourself in the league. You've established a role for yourself. You're no longer just a prospect. Is that fair to say?
You could say that. I think there's still some room to grow in my game. There's some room to grow in everybody's game. You know, look at guys that are like 17 plus in the league. They still find ways to improve their game and learn the game.
Does it help to at least have a stronger understanding of where you stand on the current roster? Meaning to say, you know, when you were starting off, you didn't know if you were going to be in the rotation any given night or how much you were going to play. Now you know you're part of that second unit. You have expectations for you coming off the bench. Does it help you to make gains in some of those areas, knowing what's going to be expected of you night after night?
Definitely, walking into the arena knowing that you're going to play a certain amount of minutes, and if you do the right things, you're guaranteed to play this amount of minutes. I would say it was definitely harder, when my first 2 years coming into the league and just walking in and not knowing if I'm going to play tonight. So I would say it's definitely gotten easier.
There's also, I'm sure, some financial assistance having signed that contract now. How has your life changed now that you've gone from being on a rookie contract to being on something significantly more substantial?
It hasn't really changed that much. I don't really see myself, being that guy, that kind of guy that spends money that when he gets more of it. I probably say I probably just got more. I'm into technology a little bit, so I probably just got more expensive computers, TVs, video games, probably stuff like that. But everything else is probably stay the same. With
this group video game stuff, you got to stay on par. It's probably helps out your gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Only 4 players on the team, by my count, have been with the Hornets longer than you have. You're in a class with LaMelo and others, obviously. Has it elevated your role within the team, maybe not just as a veteran, but as one of the leaders and part of the core?
I guess you could say that. I mean, I came in with Melo, so we got drafted together, so we know a little bit more about each other than guys that just came in. But when you also look at guys like Miles, Terry, and PJ, they've been longer. PJ's been longer here than us for 1 year, so we look to those guys, for more leadership out, if anything.
Entering the league with LaMelo, how have you seen him change since your joint rookie year?
He's still the same guy personally, but personality-wise. But basketball game definitely has gotten 1,000 times better. He came into the league with the potential to be a superstar, and now he is a superstar. So, personality-wise, hasn't changed a bit.
There's a saying a lot of parents use, working with their kids, that years are short, days are long. And I think in the NBA, you could use that too. The years are short, days are long sometimes. It doesn't feel like it's been 4 seasons since you made your way into the NBA.
No, it hasn't. It's definitely been really, 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 really quick. It feels like I was just coming out of college yesterday. I can remember everything that just happened. It was the COVID year. We were waiting months and months and months and months to get drafted. It would be a really good story to tell my kids one day, hopefully when they're born.
Well, tell us a little bit of the story. We'll give you a chance to, work on the first draft of it. I mean, that was such a strange year in terms of, the workout processes were completely different. A lot of players just didn't have them. The draft process, like you said, we didn't know for a long time when exactly the draft was going to take place. So your recollections now, getting to look back a little bit on that time in your life and a very strange draft process that year for the NBA.
Man, it took a lot of patience that year. It was just, when the pandemic first started, we were hearing like the draft is going to be in July. June gets there, the draft is going to be in August. We're in July now. we're hearing the draft is in September. It just kept on going. It just kept on pushing back and back and back. At one point, I didn't think I was going to get drafted until maybe 2021. So, it took a lot of patience. We were grinding every single day in the gym, whatever gym we could find that could let us in. And it was just really a scary time for everybody. Everybody's life was put on pause. But, it also showed who were the nitty-gritty guys, the guys that were willing to find ways to, make their life work and make extra money and find ways to make more money through the pandemic. I think that's what really set everybody aside.
It sounds like you viewed it as much of anything as an opportunity, which I guess everyone, kind of had to. We were all making the best of it with whatever we were doing in our lives.
Yeah, definitely. I tried to make the most of it. I tried to learn new skills. I tried to figure out ways to, I got new hobbies. Got into. That's really when I got into video gaming. I never really was a video game guy until the pandemic, and I had to figure out something to do while I was in the house, just being in there all day.
It feels like you're someone who can find the silver linings of a situation. So a lot of us look at your draft process, your initial year in the NBA, no summer league, very little training camp, and say, wow, what a huge disadvantage. You've seen several classes come since you and now know what it's like to play in a summer league, to have a full training camp. What were some of the silver linings to your experience that maybe you have an edge on some rookie classes that didn't have the same experience you did?
In fact, I wouldn't tell any of these guys to go through what we went through my first year. We had no fans, couldn't leave our hotels when we were going away trips. We had to get tested every day, before, in the mornings, after games, before practice, after practice. So I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. But I would say that going through that whole entire process was very humbling for all of us. It made all of us appreciate the game of basketball more. It was taken away from us for a short period of time, but it made everybody just appreciate the game more.
I think that's fair, maybe putting the silver linings of that experience, but maybe the silver lining is a greater appreciation now for everything you have. You're one of the players that seems to be first to raise your hand and volunteer to work in the community, always have a smile for all the fans out there. How much more does it mean to get to interact with the fans and get to give back to the community, given your experience initially not being able to interact with anyone when you entered the NBA?
Just interacting with fans was just something that come naturally to me. When I went to Kentucky, Cal was really big on, interacting with the fans, showing their appreciation for them. They always come out and support us no matter if we're having a losing year, or we're having a bad game, or having a great game. They're always there for us. So I think that just carried over to me coming into the NBA. Whenever we're having community events, it's not that hard for me to just go out there for a few hours and just interact with them and try to make somebody's day.
You're now established in the NBA, and not just as a part of this team, but one of the better relief centers, let's call it backup centers in the association. You're consistently up there, not just amongst the backups, but amongst everyone in blocks per game, offensive rebounds per game. What are some of the things that you were able to figure out about the NBA game that's allowed you to succeed so quickly, coming from a draft position where quite frankly, a lot of guys who are drafted in your range, sometimes they don't make it to a second contract or a fourth year or an established role?
I mean, it's just trying to find something that the team needs, and I felt like, from the first 2 years, we always lacked offensive rebounding. A guy that, set good screens and, just protect the rim and, just bring that energy to the team. And I felt like that's something that always come naturally to me. The other stuff, the skill-wise, I'm still developing, still trying to get better at everything. I think my free throw game has also gotten way better as well. Just trying to find the things that the team needs out of one person and, what comes naturally to you, you just have to put that out there.
Has that been difficult to do? Because a lot of young players, when they come into the league, they're trying to maximize everything. They want to be Giannis. They want to be Durant. And it feels like not that you're not trying to expand your game as much as you can, but you've done a very good job. And coaches have talked a lot about your ability to focus on the things that you're asked to do, excel at those first, and then try and build from there.
I mean, for sure, I know I'm not the guy. I know I'm not the best shooter on the team. I know I'm not the best ball handler. I know I'm not the best passer. but I do know that I am a guy that can also bring energy every single night. That's like I said before. That comes naturally to me, and I think that you need to find something that makes you stand out. I think that me being on the defensive side, anchoring our defense, protecting the rim as much as possible. I think that just makes me stand out just a little bit.
The team, the roster has certainly developed over your time here in Charlotte. That said, the storyline the last 2 seasons have obviously been centered around injuries and absences. How have you and the rest of your teammates managed to deal with the frustration of knowing how much better you probably would be if you had all your pieces, and knowing that just for this recent spell, it hasn't been an option?
I mean, it's just one of those things that we just have to deal with. It comes with the job. Every coach, every front office knows that it just comes with the job. It's going to happen to a team eventually. We don't want it to happen, but everybody has to have that next man up mentality, and the coaches, is also on them to figure out how to work our way around it. And us and players also, the guys that don't play that much, it's also on them to stay ready at all times. The coaches are going to do their job. They're going to figure out how to do it, how to work around it. Us players, we got to do our job as well.
And we'll close with some positivity, or at least something I hope is positive. What's the level of optimism that once this team is finally whole, that you can take off the way the front office believes, the coaching staff believes? Does that resonate throughout the locker room?
Definitely. I don't think anybody on the team is hoping that guys come back and we're going to be better. I think everybody on the team is trying to figure out right now. We always go into the game no matter if Melo's out, Terry's out, Gordon's out, Mark is out, PJ's out, Miles is out. Everybody on the team we come into the game thinking that we're going to win and we're going to give it our best no matter who's out. That's just the way we think, and that's just the way everybody should think, no matter what team you're on.
Nick, appreciate your optimism always and all you do for the community here in Charlotte and for us here at the HHC. Thanks for joining us today on the Hornets Hivecast.
No problem.
That does it for this edition of the Hornets Hivecast. Remember, the HHC is available daily wherever you get your podcasts all throughout the NBA season, with game previews every game day, reviews every day after, and in-depth interviews everywhere in between. I'm Sam Farber. It's been a pleasure and a privilege having you along, and we'll talk to you next time right here on the Hornets Hivecast.
Thank you for listening to the Hornets Hivecast, brought to you by Senta, the official eye, ear, nose, and throat care provider of the Charlotte Hornets. For more coverage, visit Hornets.com.